So, I mean, so basically, here's what I'm saying, okay? Here's what I say the situation is, okay? What I say the situation is, from the way that I seen it, the spiritual, mystical forces of the People's Republic of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam definitely have the capacity necessary to carry on with their operations. That's what I see. I mean, if you really want to know, you know, and I'm just being real about it. I'm not trying to take away from anybody else. I mean, look, how is it that you can explain? I mean, how can you explain saying that you know Allah and you don't know your Shahada? Can somebody explain that to me? I mean, how is it that you Muslim, right? You Muslim, right? So you say you Muslim, but you don't know your Shahada? And then okay, let's say you do know your Shahada, right? But you don't know what you don't know is where to find your Shahada in the Quran.
Right.
That's another issue. But it's kind of like worse. It's not kind of like worse, but it's worse when you say you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you don't actually, you can't spell his name.
Right? And especially with you giving everybody the secret to how to do it.
I mean, see the point the point I'm trying to make is that, we all need to come to terms about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said for us to do when he said,
Right.
read. When he gives the command to read, he didn't give the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam the command to go get involved in business. He could have given him the secret to today's economy. He could have given him that.
Right.
He could have given him, the secret of all languages. He could have given him that.
Exactly.
He could have given him, a river of gold. He could have given him that.
Right.
He could have given him the understanding of where the oil was, because they got the oil over there right now. See, people don't want to make that connection.
That's true. That's true.
He could have given him that back then. But what did he give him? He gave him the Quran. That's why the Quranic Revolution 2022 is definitely forever. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's the problem. And it actually, the root of it, actually, as it's coming into the, they call it, what it's really called, it's called the secret probes, okay? Because when the probes are really out there, because, I mean, they are already in the archives, and if you go to YouTube, you'll actually be able to see it there, because it's public information to all the people, the public of La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good. So the thing about the situation, again, is that he gave him the Quran. I mean, am I wrong about that? Okay. What I'm saying is that was his miracle. And he said this will sustain until the day of reckoning.
Yeah.
So that's the problem right now. You come from over there, from Muslim countries or major populated Muslim countries. And I'm not just talking about Arab countries. I'm talking about countries that are just majority Muslim in the Sahara area, period. I'm talking about, all those competitions that are held globally, all right, about the Hafiz al-Quran and coming from all them different nations. I'm talking about where you have 80, 90, 99% of Muslim population. I'm talking about that. You understand what I'm saying? And you come to America, you come to the land of opportunities, and instead of you giving $1, instead of you calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of you being in service to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of you being submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of you being totally reliant in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do? You go and you follow mushrikeen. Am I wrong? I mean, is this not making any sense? Is that what everybody's trying to allure to? Like,
no, it's crystal clear.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. I could walk into a masjid and I say to everybody in there, how many of you know the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And majority of people, by default, are going to raise their hands. If I'm a loudspeaker, well, first I got to be a loudspeaker, right? And first of all, the mosque got to be full up, because we know how they be doing if you're black. if you know a little bit too much and you black male, I mean you got issues over there. I mean, you may not have a full masjid. It's already been proven. You may just walk into an empty, like half and half masjid kind of thing, you know. Because you don't have that light bright, you know, like that milky-ish type of, you know, minority brownish thing, you know.
Right.
So that's the problem right there. You know, well, that's another problem. But the point of the matter still reflects to, if you ask 99%, 99% are going to say, yeah, we know the Prophet. And then how many of that 99% actually teach the Quran? In other words, not just the fact that you have a job and, you know, people know that you're Muslim and, you know, you might give them the Quran or give them, you know, advice from Islam every once in a while. Not that. We're not talking about that, okay? We know exactly what that is. That's just having it as a supplement. That's what that is. That's having it as an excuse. Like, yeah, I'm doing my part in da'wah. Nah, buddy, you don't have that model from the Quran. Nah, buddy, you don't have that model from the Sunnatullah. So I just want to make sure that we hitting on the right spots here. You understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly.
What? So here's something that a lot of people fail. And I mean, it's just by default when you stop to think about it. So how many of you know the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam? All these people raise their hand. How many of you actually do for you as a profession what he said would be the best profession? How many of you do that?
Not many.
And it's all across the, you know, again, the Western Hemisphere for sure. When you have places where Hafiz al-Quran will come and forget their entire Quran, you know for a fact it is not popular to be a Quran teacher in the Western Hemisphere. As a matter of fact, you know, the first people who are going to try and discourage you from being a Quran teacher are Muslims themselves.
Why though?
Well, I mean, see, you gotta understand something, and this is something that, you know, people have to be woken up about, you know, one way or the other. And you know what that is?
What?
That all the honor belongs and comes from Allah and Allah alone. That's the first thing. They need to know that all the knowledge is with Allah and only comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone.
Yes.
So that's number one. Number two, we all have to come to terms that if in fact we all believe in the way of Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam, it is only right that we choose what he chose on his deathbed. It's only right.
Right.
It is most honorable And it is most wise for us to do exactly what he did on his deathbed. He chose to be a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in
Yes.
deed as well as in letter. In other words, in what he said and what transpired right after that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He, you know, he knew what he had. He had the illness of the poison. He knew that, that element had really caught to him
Exactly.
and had caused him a great grief. Look at that. He's in that type of pain.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided to leave this earth in satisfactory
Mm-hmm.
instead of accepting everlasting life on this earth as a king on this earth
Mm-hmm.
and his entire, illness be taken away.
Right.
He would live until the earth itself was called back.
Mm-hmm. He chose
And,
to be with Allah.
and don't just look at the fact that he chose that component, but just
Mm-hmm.
look at the family that he left behind. How many
Right.
wives did he leave behind? You understand
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Come real
Yeah.
about the whole situation, you know? And until that, the honor all comes from Allah, the sustenance, it all comes from Allah, the knowledge, it all comes from Allah. Why you keep running after the way of the Iblisi forces? Like greed
Exactly.
and like arrogant. And the other one is ignorant. I think. Well, I know they got greed. Greed is one of the commanders on the Iblisi forces. They got
Mm-hmm.
Kazib. Kazib is there too. Definitely Kazib is. Well, they don't. They used to be called, imams, but that was just to point out the fact that they exist inside within the Muslim communities.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
that to say that they actually exist right there.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So what people have to come to understand and realize that the people republic of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam
Hello.
are only
Can you
about
hear?
what
Can you hear?
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. It's
Okay.
only about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed. It's only about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, kun, be. And it happens between the letter B and the letter E. Like in Arabic, it says that the order takes place bain al kaf wa nun. You cannot say that the Prophet ﷺ said that the best of professions is the one that teaches the Quran and not just, memorizing words and reciting it to others and have them recite it back to you and all that hafiz. That's not what it means. It means there's the da'wah. You cannot give a better and it corresponds with the ayah in the Quran that says what is a better calling for you to be involved in than the calling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
And you know very well you have absolutely no right to be in a state of impiety because you are not involved in the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Mm-hmm.
You are not abiding by your oath. See, you have an oath. You have a testament. And that
Right.
day is going to be pulled up and it's going to be said to you, this is your testament. Now you must speak on this behalf.
Right.
So that's the situation. So I mean, look, we love, the people republic, love the people republic, the people.
Mm-hmm.
We want everybody who is searching for the truth and not sticking with, the Kazib section, they're not sticking with the Iblisis.
Yeah.
You understand?
And that's hard for some.
Coming to the senses to definitely begin the process of reform. When you have it's as strange. Someone says, "I know Quran." Okay, spell. But do you know if you say you know Quran? I say to you, you know Quran? Yep, I know Quran. Spell the word Al Quran. Spell it.
So I have Travisat for you. That's a good one. Travisat.